We know the joy of giving is its own reward. But who says you can't get something for yourself, too? Now when you buy Vanilla Visa gift cards, you can enter to win one of over 10 prizes every week for 10 weeks, including a grand prize of $10,000 in Vanilla gift cards. So get gifting and start sharing the delight for more chances to win. Go to get-gifting.com to learn more and enter for your chance to win. Cards are issued by the Bancorp Bank, MetaBank, and Sutton Bank, members FDIC, pursuant to a license from Visa USA Inc., and may be used in the U.S. everywhere Visa debit cards are accepted. Terms and conditions apply. Cards distributed and serviced by Income Financial Services Inc., which is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services. NMLS ID number 912772.
ADHD, now driving me crazy. I don't wanna take this, you're gonna have to make me. ADHD, I don't wanna take this, I feel like I've been lately. So life and take me.
Welcome everybody to Hooligan Radio, the podcast that talks movies, gaming, true crime, cryptids, conspiracies, and a whole bunch of other stuff, including today, cartoons. I'm joined here by Isaiah and Zach. How are you guys doing today?
Always doing great.
I'm killing it, bro. Call of Duty is fucking great, and we in here, dog.
Yes, I'm excited to get everyone's first reactions on Modern Warfare here today. But Isaiah, do you want to get us started off with the news?
Yeah, man. I'll start with the lesser news and then get into the bigger news. League of Legends has brought back one of their most popular modes. It's called URF for short. The long version is Ultra Rapid Fire. Basically, they remove all the cooldowns from all the spells and all the good shit, and all the mana regen and all that is gone. And it is a fucking shit show, but it is the funnest shit show you'll ever have in League of Legends. The only problem is, like I mentioned already on this episode, and like I will mention multiple times throughout this episode, they did it when Call of Duty came out. So I've played like 2 games and then was like, I want to go play Search and Destroy. So if you've ever played League, you probably know about URF. If you don't, then you should hop on to League, even if you've been gone for a while, and play a few games of URF. Also, in League news, they officially showed off their Louis Vuitton designed in-game skins. Those are going to make Riot Games a lot of money. So expect for them to just boatload of cash and be a lot of buffs for those champions. But that's my small news. A little bit of League stuff. Have you played any URF, Zach?
God, I hate URF.
I hate you.
When Lux can ult every 10 seconds, I don't like to play whatever game that is.
Yeah, but there's picks and bans, dog.
Oh, I don't remember that. That might make it enjoyable.
Right, so you could pick. So in the past few years, it was ARAM. So you got random characters or whatever.
That's what I remember.
And this year, you get to pick and ban characters. So I would say some honorable bans that you should go for. Lux is definitely one of them. Tryndamere, definitely one of them. Akali is kind of broken. Other than that, Garen is kind of scary. And I would say I could go all day about banning random other champions, but yeah.
If you already know that there's a champ that has a ridiculously low cooldown for an ult, they should be properly banned in URF. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, probably. Whatever. But it was cool. It's cool. I would check it out. I think it's only active for... It might only be active for 2-3 days after when this comes out, so...
That's one thing I do like about it. They actually do it as like a special event, because I think they still only do it once a year, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they do it once a year, and it's normally near the end of Worlds, but before All-Stars.
Yeah. So it's always a little fun thing that they're throwing at the end, and I do enjoy playing it sometimes, but it's one of those things where I get aggravated too quick.
I'm going to derail and go on a tangent, but that I think is one of my favorite things about esports, is that there's no real risk of injury when you're playing an esport. So their all-star matches are actually cool compared to actual sports where you're like, no one gives a shit because they don't want to get hurt and ruin their life over this showboat-ass game. So the League of Legends All-Stars is a good place to also kind of jump in, so you could possibly find a favorite esports player to follow. So that'll be coming up, and I'll probably update more about when that comes around. The other news that I have is kind of a big deal in the pop culture space, especially if you are a frequenter of YouTube, which I don't know if I know anybody who doesn't watch YouTube a lot in our generation, but I could just be generalizing. But Mr. Beast and a cohort that I am blanking on his name. I'm going to look it up right now. His name is, I think it's Mark something another. They started this campaign to raise $20 million, and at each dollar that they raise is a tree planted somewhere on the planet, which is fucking crazy. It is insane. It is super badass. There have been,
a good cause.
Yeah. I'm not gonna read what the number is because by this point, when this comes out, it'll be fucking off. H3 did a thing like that, and like within an hour of it being uploaded, they were already off by millions. So who really knows? But I do like to do the honorable mentions at this point in time of who has donated the most trees. We've got Toby Lutke. I'm not positive for who that is, but the one right under that, they both have donated $1 million. So that is 1 million trees pointed by him and Elon Musk, who actually changed his Twitter name to Treelon Musk recently.
Wow.
Which is
Gotta respect the man.
Absolutely incredible. Another name on here for 150,000 trees is Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter. Mr. Beast has donated over $200,000 to this cause himself. Jeffree Star, Jacksepticeye, The Odd Ones Out, like all of these YouTubers and other people who are big. A Ninja's in here with a big donation. They're all donating to this cause, and like I said, each dollar is a tree planted, and it goes to the Arbor Foundation, which I found out through the H3 podcast is a pretty reputable charity for doing stuff like this, and they actually care about like the tree's actual sustainability. Like they won't plant it unless it meets certain like confidence that it will survive. So that's cool. Personally, I can make this voucher on my own because in the name of Hooligan Radio, I'm going to plant 50 trees.
No.
So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And I will also support, but I'm not sure on a number yet.
Yeah,
But
he's got to
Hooligan
run the
Radio
numbers.
will have its mark in this.
Yeah, we'll come back next week with an official if we're gonna add anything to that.
But it
that's
will
what
be
we
at
know.
least $50.
Yeah.
And that is awesome. I'm very excited to see if they're already halfway to the goal, and the video hasn't even been up for a week. But I think there's a lot of YouTubers jumping on the collab. Mm-hmm. So I think that the day that the video released, there was like 6 or 7, 8 other pretty medium to large size YouTubers who dropped a video. So all we need is the I don't even know if they've gotten the support from Pewds yet. Everybody's most nefarious YouTuber, I would assume. Once that happens, I could assume that they're going to get probably quite a few more donations. But every little bit counts. Like I said, they have buttons on here to donate 5 trees, 20 trees, 50 trees, 100 trees, or you can enter your own amount. 5 trees, that's $5, dude. What are you going to... You could drink one less White Claw at the bar over the weekend and plant 5 trees. So why not? I mean,
not feel bad doing it.
So a lot of people are saying that this isn't going to fix climate change, but hey, it's a step in the right direction. I don't know all the science. I am a scientist, but not in that kind of specialization.
Not in the tree realm.
Yeah, I'm not an arborist. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, so check that out. The video is dope. They actually plant like 2,000 trees themselves in the video, and then they're like, this is too hard, we need the help of the internet, or something along those lines. And so yeah, I would check it out, teamtrees.org. I will make sure that gets out on our Twitter, and we can go from there. That's all my news, yo.
All right, I like it. All right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and start off the second round of news. So this week, in honor of Halloween right around the corner, unfortunately, by the time this one's released, Halloween will already be over, and I hope you had a great time. I'm going to bring in some ghost news. So, uh, what I came across over the last week is that there is this rapper who goes by the name of Prozac, and he is not only getting his own TV show on the Travel Network, essentially going around and going to haunted houses, haunted areas, exploring them. I think the actual once it comes out, it's coming out in 2020. It's called something along the lines of like Hauntings in the Heartland, I believe. Um, but he also does this side project where every year he creates a documentary sort of film where he goes and finds a house, and it seems like a lot of these are up in Michigan, and essentially does a documentary style um, shoot of the home where they actually go in, do a lot of digging into the house's history as well as ghost hunting there, just to see all of the pretty much everything they can find out paranormal. And this most recent one that's actually going to be debuting in November up in Michigan is covering a house in Michigan, um, in Saginaw, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah.
Saginaw. Uh, and it says, and supposedly this house is supposed to be one of the more haunted homes out of the, I believe, 9 films that he already created. Um, this should be the 10th of the film. And this home was actually recently purchased by a family for renovation. When they first got into the home, it was extremely torn up. There was actually about 3 feet of water in the basement, carpet ripped up everywhere. So the house was a complete disaster. And through that, and then as they start to go into the home, they start to renovate it. They start to see like little things, start to hear little things. They start to avoid just put it up like this is an old house. This is just stuff that comes with it. But what gets them really freaked out is that their daughter actually starts to see things, specifically a young boy in the home. And ever since that started, shit just hit the fan. They When Prozac essentially gets in there, they said that they were nonstop recording of the house for about 2 weeks, and it was event after event after event of supposed paranormal activity going on in the home. Specific things that they brought up in there was hearing noises, seeing ghostly figures. Supposedly, they had a couple pictures of supposed apparitions going around the home. And a lot of this stuff, even though a majority of it was caught off camera, a good portion of it was also been caught on camera, which is expected to be released in the Temple Theater in Saginaw, which premieres November 15th and 16th. And if you are in the area of Saginaw, the tickets are currently available in box office.
They're going to sell out before this comes out, dog, for sure.
I really wish I lived in a city where something like this happened. Could you imagine going to a local theater and being able to watch a ghost documentary that was filmed in that city that you're sitting at? I love this idea, and I honestly hope others start to take this idea and run with it.
Yeah, but then you're just going to get a bunch of fake-ass ghost shit.
I mean, you have to pick through the good stuff, the bad stuff, but at least Prozac here, whose real name is, I wrote it down. Where is it at? I want to give his real name a shout. It's Steve Shippey. Steve Shippey, like I said, this is going to be his 10th film, so he is a pretty seasoned ghost hunter. So it's not like he's just sitting there making stuff up. He's going through exactly what he needs to do through like the scientific method, especially with a lot of these sightings, hauntings at the house, as well as a lot of his other films. So you know for a fact he's just not throwing stuff out there to get viewers in the seats.
Yeah.
I want to know how there's been 10 or there's been 9 of these films that are all centered around haunted locations in this one area. Like, are there that many haunted locations?
Well, I don't. So, from my understanding, it's not all within like that same city, but a lot of them seem to be within the Michigan area. Did a quick little brief view of it. I saw one of his other films. I believe it was the 4th. Was actually another haunting in Saginaw. One of his other films was called A Haunting on Porter Street, which was released in 2012. Haunting on Hamilton Street, A Haunting at Hoyt Library, and then he had 2 films. A Haunting on Dice Road and Haunting on Dice Road 2, which were released in 2016 and 2017 respectively.
My thing is like, see, it sounds like a good idea. I get it. But how many of these would you be able to buy a ticket to, right? And you go to, how many iPhone shot movies can you sit through really in your lifetime before you're like, they're making this shit up? Like, yeah. I know for a fact, dude, that if I went to one in the hometown where we grew up, it would just be some kid who shot it on their fucking iPhone 8, and they're just like throwing dust over the fucking lens, and then there's just fucking terrible cuts, and just being like, ugh.
But this is an actual film crew. This isn't like them shooting it on their iPhones or like
right. But you were saying that
we used to do our parkour videos with. This is like an actual film crew and full investigation going on for each of these documentaries.
Yeah, but you were saying that you wish that you could be in a town where you see this, or that more towns do this, right?
Oh yeah,
and the more towns that do this, the worse they're gonna get.
Yeah, the less quality it's gonna be, and less of a documentary is at the end of the day. But at least I love to see that there's people out there who actually are interested in the paranormal and are trying to bring it to the public eye. And at least this has some more credibility to me, especially with the fact that he is getting his own show in 2020. Because that at least shows to me that he's at least doing the process right to a certain extent. It might not be perfect, but he at least getting most of it correct if he's able to get his own show. And let's be real, you have to have a personality for this. And being a rapper who I think he released about 4 or 5 different albums, with his most recent one I saw being called Black Ink. And he actually had an album called Paranormal, which I want to listen to because I want to see if it has anything about paranormal in there.
What if it was just rap beats?
Just rap beats?
These are my paranormal rap beats. That's the intro track. And then the rest of them are just like, ooh, pop.
No, here's a solid idea, Prozac. Any noise that you get from any of these documentaries, you should rap over. Yeah, make it into a beat.
That's what I'm saying. Now you have the most fired fucking mixtape of 2019-2020, bro.
Exactly. Not many people can say that they rap. Their beat is a combination of ghostly sounds. Yeah, that's pretty much my news. Not too much this week going on. Pretty much has been getting psyched up for the Halloween day, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It sounds spooky. I have family that lives in Saginaw.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some of my cousins live there. Or they lived there. Their parents still live there, so my aunt and uncle. But I don't know. It's not a very spooky place.
That you know.
Yeah, it's just gonna...
One wrong turn and you can be in hell.
You could be in hell. That's what they will call it. So, yeah, interestingly enough, I will not be going to see this, even though I would have family to stay with.
I was about to say, that was literally what my next comment was going to be. Like, since you have family in there, that means we can stay with them and go see this, correct?
We could.
That's what I like to hear.
But we're not going to.
We debatable.
I mean, you could try to go without me. I'm not going. You can more than welcome show up to my aunt and uncle's house and be like, I'm Isaiah's friend. Can I sleep here?
Absolutely not. Go in your car. All right.
All right. What about Josh? What's your news? Or wait, is that all your news, Zach?
That's all my news for this week. Not too much coming on.
So, yeah, not much in the way of the news for this week, but I did figure with Terminator 2 release, or I'm not Terminator 2, I wish, Terminator 6, Dark Fate coming out, by the time this is posted, it came out this past Friday. We're sitting here a couple days before release, and so far the early word on the film is not great.
Nice.
So for anyone not super familiar with, the Terminator films, the first one obviously is regarded as a great movie. And then the second one as well is actually regarded as a really, really good action movie as well. One of kind of like an all-time classic. And I just recently watched Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 because I wanted to, in case I saw the sixth one, kind of wanted to, be in the know. And this sixth one actually kind of does the same thing that Halloween did last year. It ignores 3, 4, and 5. It only is going off of the timeline of 1 and 2. And after watching Terminator 2, it had such a perfect ending that kind of wrapped it up. In the first Terminator, you have Arnold Schwarzenegger being sent from the future to kill Sarah Connor. And then in the second movie, you have him being sent back to protect her son, John Connor. So you have, the villain in Arnold, the Terminator, being flipped from the bad guy in the first one to the good guy in the second one. And Sarah Connor being obviously hesitant because she just battled him in the first one. So really, really good back-to-back movies that I don't think should have ever had any sequels, but this is the fourth time that they're trying. And with that being said, I thought this week we could do top 3 things that should never get a sequel. Now, we're not Go ahead.
Damn, I think I fucked this one up already. So I want to I want to clarify. So was this supposed to be which movies or shows do not have a sequel and should stay that way, or what bad sequels have been made and that should have never been made?
Yeah, it's going to be the former. So it's going to be films that you would never want to see a sequel made to. We could definitely have a list of regrettable sequels, but we're not doing that today. So I'm glad that you messed it up because you're up first, Zach. So, so basically, we're not going to. What I was going to say was we're not including remakes or reboots in this. We're not saying Back to the Future should ever be remade or things like that. We're only including sequels, something that would be a continuation of the last film. There might be a movie that you think would be interesting as a remake, but not a sequel. So we're only doing things that should never get a sequel. I hope I just gave enough filler for you, Zach, because you're up first.
I don't even. All right. I'm going to hit our quota. There should not be a Grave Encounters 3. I'm going to say it now. I think it ended great with the way it ended with the second one. And let's be weird, the first one's just so good. The second one was a great continuation, and it should end with where it ended.
The real question is, how many times can we say Grave Encounters before somebody who actually worked on the film ends up on this podcast?
It's a good idea. We could probably find someone.
We could probably find someone. We'll do that later. We'll pull up the cast and we'll see who's the easiest, most targetable Pearson. Bring him on the show. See if they can get us all the way to Lance Preston.
My name's not Lance Preston, right? I don't believe you.
I don't believe you, and I'm going to call you Lance all episode.
Yeah, thanks, Lance, for coming on.
So it's my turn.
Yes.
I'm going to get... Okay, so the caveat here is we are recording this before BlizzCon. Therefore, what I'm about to say is still technically true. There should not be a sequel to Overwatch.
That is very fair. I also agree with that. The
caveat is that there are rumors that at BlizzCon this week, the weekend before this came out, there's rumors that is going to be announced, and I am not thrilled. I think that they should have just did something better with the way that they did Overwatch 1.
How do you even have a second one? I get because there's no story, and it's just literally a multiplayer game that you add characters to.
They're going to add a story, and it's going to be
add a story
shitty.
To the first one.
Yeah, dog. You're telling me. You're telling me. So yeah, I'm picking Overwatch.
All right. Well, so that's 2 in a row for me. So my first one I'm going to pick is going to be 22 Jump Street, which is the sequel to 21 Jump Street. I feel kind of the same way I did about the Terminator movies. I feel like 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street go really well hand in hand with each other, and the quality of the two films are pretty even. I like the first one more, but I do really like the second one as well. And there's a lot of reasons it should never get a sequel. First of all, Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum are like probably almost 40 by now, so can't really pretend that they're still in any type of school. But the main reason is that at the end of 22 Jump Street, they do a whole bit throughout the credits where they do like little trailers or little previews for what the sequels would be. 23 Jump Street, 24, 25. They go like way up and they do like everything you could ever do, like medical school, law school, you know, all of these fake trailers for sequels that they're going to do. And they even have jokes about, like, for example, Jonah Hill, like someone replacing him in the movie and then Jonah Hill returning to the movie as the same character, like little jokes like that. And it's one of the best credit sequences in a movie that I can remember seeing. So I think actually making a sequel would kind of ruin that ending as well a little bit. There were rumors for a number of years that they were going to cross over the Jump Street and the Men in Black franchises and make a crossover film. But then once they decided to reboot Men in Black, that kind of went out the window, and I think that's for the best.
All right, fair. All right, so
and then,
up to me.
No, it's second one for Josh.
Oh,
yep, and then
the snake. Okay.
So then my second pick is going to be a little bit of a controversial one, I think, but I do not think there should ever be a sequel to the newly released Joker.
Oof.
I think that it is a great film on its own, and I think that everyone involved with the film, including Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips, wanted it to be a standalone movie. I think it works great for what it is as a standalone film. I think once you make a sequel to it, it naturally has to become more comic booky because you have to follow, you have to in some way follow the lore of, Batman and Gotham. You'll probably have to include other comic book characters. And I felt like Joker perfectly played that balance of still having Batman in there, obviously as a child, and not really breaking the laws of anything that's set up in the comic books, but still telling its own story. And I don't think it needs to go any further than what it did. So I don't know if people would agree or disagree with me on that, but I would love to never see a Joker 2.
That's fair.
I haven't seen Joker, so I couldn't tell you. But I think I got a clutch pick here. I think that they should never make a sequel to Man vs. Food. That food show where that guy literally ate himself to death, basically. I think he's still alive, but he was like, I'm going to die if I keep doing this. And they were like, well, do you want to get paid or do you want to live? And he was like, I think I'm going to live. So, yeah, I think they should never remake that food challenge chasing show.
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, Isaiah, but they have made a sequel to that.
Oh, no! It's fine. I have a backup pick. That's your
third.
No. Nah, it's out.
Right.
And they made a sequel. That's a disqualification. I'm going to go with This Is the End. That movie with all the actors and the end of the world.
That's a great pick.
Right. I don't think they should ever make a sequel to that. I don't know if it'll ever happen. It doesn't seem like Seth Rogen is really interested in making that happen. So
that's fair. I guess I'll go. I guess I'm going to follow a little bit with you and say instead of a positive, this was a good movie / video game. I'm going to go with the negative side and say that Fallout 76 was so bad that Bethesda should never try to replicate that ever again.
True.
If you're ever going to try to do that again, just stop immediately and go back to the old Fallout games that you made originally.
For anybody who... I'm going to take this moment to say, for anybody who's listening to this and wondering why I'm not reporting on the Fallout 76 news, that game is so trash that I don't even want to read the articles about it. So therefore, I don't feel like I need to tell you guys about it. So anybody who is out there and being like, I can't believe Isaiah's not talking about how they're doing all this fuck shit. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's not worth my time.
That's how they're staying in the news. They have to do the fuck shit.
Right.
And I guess my last one, it might be a little controversial. I believe that there should be only one Avatar. I don't like that they're coming out with the second Avatar in whatever 2020, 2021, whenever it's supposed to come out. I believe it should have stopped with the first one.
Damn.
Yeah, it's true that, but oh fucking well.
Yeah, too much money on the line.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah.
My third pick.
Isaiah?
I'm going off meta with this one, bad boys. I should say there should never be a Facebook sequel. Fuck Facebook, and Facebook 2 would be shitty.
You're right. I hope it's named Facebook 2 if it's ever made, though.
No, I hope it's called Facebook the Sequel, because those are the worst kinds of sequels. The ones that call themselves a sequel, oof. I'm out.
Oof.
Like, shit, this fucking Facebook, the fucking MySpace sequel we got, which is Facebook, is fucking shitty. So, well, another one in the chain, dog. All right, Josh, what about you?
So for my last one, I'm gonna go with another somewhat newly released film. I'm gonna go with Coco, the Pixar film. I think my biggest issue with Pixar is that they take any movie that's like really, really good and just like turn it into a franchise and run it into the ground. I mean, they did it with Finding Nemo. They did it with Monsters Inc. Obviously, I mean, I didn't like any of the Cars, but they did it with that. And then obviously Toy Story's had 4 films.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's only a few, Ratatouille, Up, Wall-E, that are special and stand on their own. The only one I would say that I would like to see a sequel to is probably Inside Out. I think that'd be cool to see, is maybe like the kid in that film, maybe like a high schooler or going to college in the sequel. But beyond that, I don't think Coco should have a sequel. The way it ended, I thought was great. I don't know if either of you have ever seen it, but it's one of my favorite Pixar movies. And I definitely think it's an underrated Pixar movie. And for those reasons, I do not think there should be a sequel to it.
Great movie.
I want to rewind to something you said earlier. You didn't like the fucking Cars series, bro? That's where we got Ka-Chow from. And,
oh my God.
And Larry the Cable Guy as a voice actor.
Well,
Things we didn't know we needed.
I will admit that I've only seen Cars. I have not seen Cars 2 or 3, but seeing Cars was enough for me. I don't understand the appeal. They're fucking cars.
Yeah, but they talk.
Like, if it had just been Cars and like they didn't make any more, I'd be like, oh, okay, that was fine. But it's like, why'd they have to make 3 of them? Like, I'm looking, I want to see like new cool Pixar movies, and they make 3 Cars instead. I don't know, it just kind of annoyed me.
I think that what they should have done is they should have thrown in a putt-putt Easter egg. You remember that game, like click adventure game with the car called Putt-Putt?
I do.
Yeah, they should have threw that in the Cars. But hey, man, I didn't make the movie. Okay, so there's our top 3 things you think that should never get a sequel. If you have things that we thought we totally overlooked, tweet at us, let us know, email us and let us know, or however you want to talk to us and let us know what you think is the thing that you're like, if this thing gets a sequel, I'm a fucking rage.
See it, play it, skip it, see it, play it, see it, play it, skip it.
And I guess I'll go first because I want to just touch on something Zach actually turned me on to, which was the new Paul Rudd Netflix show, Living with Yourself. After we talked about it last week, I decided to binge it, and I watched all 8 episodes in one day. And Zach, how far have you gotten so far with it?
You said there's 8 episodes?
Yeah.
Halfway through.
Okay. So I won't dip in any spoiler territory then. But what I will say is that, honestly, speaking of what we just talked about, Living with Yourself might be something that I hope never gets a sequel. Not because it's bad, but because I think I enjoyed watching 8 episodes of it, and I don't think I would enjoy watching any more of it, if that makes sense. Like, they really took the premise and kind of stretched it to what it can do and what it can be within the structure of this show. I mean, the idea of having a clone made of you could do 100 million things with that. But as far as what they do in this show, they really stretched it. And the ending of the show kind of takes you to a place where it's like, that's an interesting ending, but I don't really want to see where it goes. I'd rather leave it open-ended. And I'd like to see your opinion, Zach, once you finish it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the binge watch. I would recommend it. I think it's a see it, especially if you're a fan of Paul Rudd, because the show is just basically entirely him. But I would not really be super interested in a sequel.
Fair.
Nice. I want to go next.
That's all I got.
I want to go next. So I started watching the new show, the new Netflix show that came out recently called Daybreak, and it's a show that's about basically the story of... There's an iconic story where there are basically no adults, right? And kids rule the world. What is that? Is that Lord of Flies or something like that?
Yeah, Lord of the Flies. You're talking about when they're on the island.
Yeah, it's basically a modernized version of that going on. And I'm gonna tell you straight up right now, it's probably a skip it.
Fair.
It's
fair.
Okay. So like how there's these shows that are bad, but you accidentally get addicted to, and you're like, dude, I know this is bad. and you're just like watching it, and you're like, this is so bad. And then my roommates come in, and I'm like, yes, I'm watching a show that's bad. I know, I can't stop watching it. So this is what I'm trying to say: is don't do it, don't watch it. You can watch the trailer. The trailer pretty much gives you everything you need to know. But they do this weird thing where like each episode, then like the person it's focused on is changed. So like the first episode is about like who you think is the main character, and then everybody else, like every episode from then on out is a different episode about a different character, which is kind of cool, but it's also like super fucking gimmicky, and it's also one of those shows that breaks the fourth wall all the time, so you know how that goes. But I'm gonna say honestly, it's a skip it. I'm gonna finish it because I'm addicted, and that's just how I am as a person. But yeah.
Yeah, Isaiah, I think Netflix is the king of making content that you just like know is bad, but you watch it. Like MTV used to be the king of this, but now I feel like in the streaming era, Netflix has become the king. Like 13 Reasons Why is my perfect example. Like I've watched all 3 seasons knowing that it's not great. I saw the trailer for Daybreak, and I totally got that vibe of I was like, I could probably sit through this, but I'm just gonna pass.
So you made a good call. I'm in it. There's like you're not gonna have like it doesn't offer you anything, right? Like there's no intrinsic value to your life going to be added by watching this show. It's just a time burn, dog, for sure. So
I wonder if it's based off anything, because like really would have liked to, like, I feel like it would have been a really cool book to read when I was like in high school or something, like that idea, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it watches like some sort of fucking teen novella or whatever. It's fucking absurd. The main character is in love with a girl that he doesn't know even exists in the fucking aftermath.
I almost got that. Oh god, I'm drawing a blank on the movie now. What is it? Like that Scott Pilgrim sort of vibe to it, almost. Like that.
Yeah,
sort of,
kind of. It's kind of like It would be like Scott Pilgrim if the girl that it was focused on wasn't edgy.
Gotcha.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Like, I watch it once a year so I can remind myself that everything I've watched this year has been fucking shitty.
That should have been on our list earlier.
Yeah, it does not. No, yeah. I mean, it could be. I honestly, I'd probably watch a sequel only if everybody returned.
Oh yeah, I would love to see Kurt Michael Cera as the main character of that movie.
He's like, yeah, he's older and he's married, and yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I would watch. 10 out of 10
Who would he have to fight though? I don't know.
He'd have to fight the divorce attorney.
Yeah, it would just be adult.
All right, Zach, what have you watched?
All right, so I'm actually happy to hear it because I was either going to watch Daybreak or this film, Eli, which is also on Netflix, and I'm happy I chose this one because this one is a solid see it in my opinion. Essentially what this movie is, and this is actually a movie made by the same creators of The Haunting at Hill House. And oddly enough, and I don't know if this is for a fact, I'm pretty sure the mansion that this takes place in is almost identical to the same mansion in Haunted at Hill House. Because during the entire time we're watching it, we're like, all right, that's the same setup as Haunting at Hill House and like a lot of the features of the home. But essentially, this movie follows about a boy who has a really rare autoimmune disorder, or what you think. And essentially, he goes to this house to get treatment, and he soon realizes the house isn't as safe as he thought he was, and he starts to see all like this ghostly activity and weird things going on in the house. But this movie has quite a bit of turns in it. Almost every 15 to 20 minutes is a turn or a little thing where you're like, all right, that doesn't make sense, and why is that happening? Or, oh, I didn't see that coming, with the biggest turn coming literally within the last 5 minutes of the show, of the movie. And when it ends, you're just like, all right, I wish I could have had like 10 more minutes of this. I want you to elaborate on this so much more. It definitely leaves you wanting more. I don't know if I want a sequel to this movie at all. But it's definitely one of those things where you're like, okay, if you would have given me like 10 to 15 more minutes of this movie, this would have been perfect.
And I'm sorry, what is exactly, could you just give like a brief description of the plot?
Yeah, so it essentially follows a family, mainly a boy named Eli, who has this autoimmune disorder. So essentially, whenever and this isn't spoilers because it's in the trailer, but essentially there's something in I don't know if it's specifically the air or some sort of like bacteria or something that's just like humans are normally okay with, but essentially he has to wear like almost like hazmat suits and like live in a bubble because his own body attacks himself when he's out in the world normally. He starts to get like these rashes, he starts to burn inside and start to feel really sick. And he goes to this mansion with his mom and dad with the promise of being healed. And supposedly the doctor there has healed many people with the same disease as he has. And it's pretty much just following him going through the steps of getting healed, which is, I believe, if I remember correctly, is a 3-step process or a 3-procedure process. And then as that's going on, you also have the side story of him having these weird paranormal activities going around the house.
So it is a horror movie.
It is a straight up horror movie.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. I want to steal the spotlight back again before we talk about what I see is listed on the sheet. I also watched the first and 10 minutes of the second episode of Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner, which is another food traveling show on Netflix. I watched it because the first episode and all of the teaser shit showed Seth Rogen as the main character. Spoiler alert, he's not the main character. This is how they got me with the fucking chef show. I keep thinking that these fucking Seth Rogen shows are coming out, and they just put him in the first episode to get me, bro. I am like, fuck you, Netflix, you know my brain. So skip that shit. Tell Netflix, fuck you, bro. Give me Seth Rogen being high as fuck, eating food for 30 minutes, 10 times in a row.
Was that at least in the first one?
Yeah, that was in the
chef
first
show
one.
is pretty good though.
Big Chef.
There's a lot of good chef shows on Netflix.
No, the Chef show is really good. It's the one with Jon Favreau from
Chef.
Yeah, from Chef and from the MCU.
Okay.
We gotta watch Chef. You know, we should do a review of Chef. That movie needs to be talked about more.
Have
you guys seen
it.
Chef?
No, I want to see it.
I think it's on
haven't seen it
Netflix.
either.
I think it's on Netflix. I'm gonna look that up and double check that. But yeah, it's a good movie.
All right, and then
yeah.
one more question before we get into Modern Warfare. So which one of the three of us is going to watch Looking for Alaska? Because it would be it'll be a civil disservice if we don't talk about it. But I do not want the responsibility to have to watch it.
I've heard so many things. Alyssa and I had one of our friends over this weekend who saw it, and I heard she described it as an emotional roller coaster from the very beginning.
Now, did this friend watch without reading the book, or read the book and then watched?
That's a good question. I'm actually not too sure.
Okay.
If she read the book or not. All I know is that she watched the series that's on Netflix.
It's on Hulu.
On Hulu, my apologies. And that was her response to it. So I don't know if I can handle that right now with being in the spooky vibe. That might have to be something later down the road, but possibly I can take the bullet for that one.
Yeah, Haley read the book and I haven't, but my brother Devin watched it and recommended it to me, so we might be watching it. I feel like she's kind of in the same camp that friend was Zach brought up, as far as not wanting to go through that. But we might watch it. I undecided.
Okay, because I'm definitely not going to watch it. So I really want to hear what you guys think about it, but I do not want to have to go through and think about it myself. I've heard good things, like you guys have said.
See, with this being the Halloween season, I can't watch anything that doesn't have a ghost or a jump scare in it. I'm going to be 100% honest.
Well, by the time this
Maybe
episode
once
comes out,
November hits,
by
maybe
the time
then
this
I
episode
can
comes out, it'll be
survive.
good.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it. I don't give a fuck. It's not my vibe, dog.
Not the vibe. Just want to know the turmoil it leaves people in.
Right. I just want to know if it's good. Like, if it's fucking phenomenal, best TV show you've ever seen, I'll fucking watch it. But if it's like, it was like an 8 out of 10, I'll be like, fuck that. I don't need to watch that shit. I guess I'll watch the Orville again or something dumb. All right. So now we are in the part of the podcast where we are going to talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I wanted to give it its proper video game intro. This is the X amount of installment, and nah, dude, fuck that. So, what do you guys think of Call of Duty? What's your favorite weapon? And let's fucking roll it. Let's run it real quick.
I'll start because I think out of the two of you, I've probably played it the least so far. Um, I've really have only entered the world of multiplayer within Call of Duty so far.
What level are you?
I don't think I'm 20. I think I'm the high teens, but I don't even think I'm in the 20s. I've only put a couple hours into it.
Okay, continue.
I mean, it's great. Out of the last Call of Duty games that I've played, being the World War II one, Black Ops 4, and I can't remember the one before that. It's probably my favorite one in recent years so far. Because it seems like it goes back to its basics of what made Call of Duty great, which was none of this bullshit fancy perk stuff going on. It just goes back to the main goal of this is war. You have a weapon. Go do your thing. Go shoot people. You don't have to become invisible to go do that. You don't have to have crazy robotic mechanics to do that. It's just it seems like this brings it back to its roots and stabilizes the Call of Duty franchise again, which I love.
All right, Josh, your opinion?
So, I really, really like it as well. I can't really disagree with much of what Zach said. I think I'm right on the same page. I have to give it a little bit more gameplay to, put it in a ranking, but I am level 25 right now. I mean, this is going to sound basic, but I really do like the Kilo, the first assault rifle that you get, probably just because I've been using that the longest, but I just unlocked a pistol today, and I don't know what the name of it is, but it's the third pistol in the list of pistols, and I was doing the
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. I don't know, but it might be I can't remember if it's the third or fourth. But regardless, I was doing the challenge where you have to get 30 kills with each gun type, and two things I've learned there's a few things I've learned. I hate light machine guns. I'm much better at using a sniper rifle than I ever thought I would be, and I might actually use it outside of this challenge for the first time in a Call of Duty game. And this fucking pistol that I'm using, I'm like, holy fuck, I didn't even know you could use a pistol and actually kill people, but I'm doing pretty well.
Nice.
Okay, so I would assume that means that I have the most amount of playtime. I am level 40. By the time this podcast comes out, I'll probably be level 50. I have allotted a lot of time this weekend to playing Call of Duty. I love it. I love the new game mode. The ground war game mode is cool. I have yet to play Gunfight. I heard it's awesome from Zach. The guns feel great. The P90 is my fucking go-to. I can kill you with all 5 attachment slots filled. I can kill you with no attachments in it. I am a fucking P90 god. These challenges are sweet. I also found out that the pistol is pretty good. There's a challenge you have to get 30 kills with a pistol, and then the next challenge after that, you have to get 30 kills with a pistol with a reflex sight on it. And I was just running around the map being like, pistol man, does whatever a pistol can. Just for fucking 4 hours one day, just didn't give a shit. But yeah, I'm a big fan so far. Like I said, I'm level 40. I've come to realize that not everybody I have come into contact with that I've played with from my friends hasn't shook the whole Call of Duty toxic vibe that I thought we got rid of whenever we were in high school.
Oh, it still exists.
Yeah, there's still a lot of screaming at the game, but it's fine. I guess
That's what the mute is for.
Yeah, but these are my friends screaming at the game, Zach.
I thought you were just talking about like the general lobby.
Oh, no, I don't mind the lobby. I love the toxicity of the lobby. It's like my actual friends, I've thought we were past the whole screaming at Call of Duty point, but we are not. So it's taught me that about myself as a gamer. I have matured, but maybe not everybody has.
Yeah, I'm not much of a screamer, but I'm more of a like talk to the TV as if it can hear me, like get killed and just be like, "Oh fuck you," or just like
I do that. Yeah,
yeah, like flipping off my TV.
I've gone from yelling profusely into the mic to just saying under my breath, like, "God damn it, Zach."
I think I think it's not a good game unless you're doing that, right? Like, I'm not gonna go I can compare that to even like Celeste, right? Celeste is a platformer, and whenever you fuck up, I'm like, God damn it, Isaiah, you fucking fuck. Like, and
No, but Call of Duty is the one where you blame the game. Like, you're putting over how great the game is, and then like you get killed by someone, and you're like, this game fucking blows. I hate this game.
Yeah, there's so many times I'm just like, oh, that doesn't make sense, and then I'm not like old teenage Zach where I'm like, oh, you just took a full clip and yelling at the person.
Right. My thing is like, I'll be like, fuck this game. This game's bullshit. And then I'll be at work like, God damn, I can't wait to go home and play that game. It's so fucking good.
See, I at least recognize it when it happens against me and for me. Like I remember playing Isaiah with our friend Corey, and we were facing someone, and I got like 2 hit markers with the sniper. I was like, that really doesn't make sense. But then I got hit twice with the sniper and like crouched and was still alive. I was like, all right, that doesn't make sense.
Right,
They just kept walking too. I was like, I guess it just evens out at the end of the day.
Yeah, big fan. I'm saying that's a play it for me.
Oh yeah, everyone get Call of Duty. This
solid
absolutely.
play it. Definitely go get it.
I mean, and let's talk about other stuff that we like too. The fact that it's cross-platform and it's actually a game I can play with you guys from my PS4 on your PC. And I don't know what it was like for you, Isaiah, but I didn't have any connections problems or anything like that once we figured out the communication issue with the
I
mics.
still haven't figured out the communication issue with the mics.
Yeah, I haven't had any problems with crossplay. It's actually like, I was surprised at how easy it is. I'm also surprised at how much like the people I play with don't complain about like, oh shit, there's a guy with the keyboard and mouse or anything like that. Like, you really don't really notice. And
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's been that way forever, but I fucking big fan of crossplay. I've heard amazing things about the campaign. I've heard that the campaign will give you fucking chills.
Yeah,
I've only played the first mission, but I really enjoyed it.
I'm waiting to devote a full weekend to it.
I also heard that you won't need a whole weekend to play just the campaign set.
You're right. I'll devote a day to it.
Right, maybe
Saturday.
a weekend day, yeah. And I heard that the co-op mode is intense. According to one of my buddies who's played it, said it's intense. I don't know if that means it's a good intense or a hard intense, but that was his review. So I might check those out. But really, it's all about that grind to first prestige, baby.
But I also want to bring up, when I first joined Isaiah's game after you added me through Activision, I just joined your game like without you inviting me or anything, and I unwillingly jumped into a Ground War gaming, not having any clue what Ground War was. I mean, I knew what Ground War was in the old Call of Duty games, but not this new one. And I probably died 100 times. Like, I had no clue what was going on. People were shooting me from rooftops and from helicopters, and I'm like, what am I doing in here?
Yep. Yeah, they got tanks and helicopters and fucking snipers galore. Oh, it's so good. I can't wait. I'm going to play Call of Duty so we do the rest of this.
Yeah, but then once we were actually talking and in a party and playing together, then it was actually really fun. But just like at first, as a solo player, I was like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Yeah, I like Ground War because it gives you that chaos that you would like assume war could be like, I guess, right? Like, there's just so much shit going on. You're like, there's no way I could possibly participate in all of the shit happening in this game mode right now. So let me focus on one single thing that is happening and try to achieve that and then move on to the next thing, right? Like, you can't be in charge of clearing out the snipers and capturing C and fucking making sure that the spawn point is here or there. You just got to be like, okay, the one thing I'm going to do until it gets done is capture C or clear out these snipers or blow up the tanks or some shit like that. So it kind of gives you a variant on what you can do in the game. Unless you're one of those people who just is in love with just, I have to push C. It's the fucking war zone. I fucking love it. Go in there and just push C every game. I would never want to do that. That would fucking kill me. But I'm fucking big fan. Big fan of the game. I almost want to start streaming again.
One very tiny thing that's annoyed me is, you know, when you unlock something, there's a little green square for like showing you have unlocked something in that area in the lobby. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So from the beginning, after a few level ups, I've had the weapons tab have a green square, and I've looked everywhere, and there's nothing I haven't unlocked. And I'm pretty sure what happened was I unlocked something on a gun that was part of the preset classes from before you can create your own class, but that gun is locked, so I can no longer like go look at it.
Yeah.
So my weapons tab just always has that green thing. Kind of annoying. I wish
I
that's like
currently
something
have
they
that
would.
going on as well. I spent like a solid 10 minutes one day going through everything. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Something's missing here.
Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm hoping that by the time I I level all the way up, that's gone.
Another feature that is incredible and I use all the time is you can actually edit your loadouts while you're in the game. You do not have to be in the lobby
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah, that's
I think that's an incredible life improvement there. Another thing is they have missions that you can assign so that you can get these like crazy camos and attachment sets and stuff for your guns. And that is in the barracks tab. You can find those challenges, and it's just like a set of challenges. So when I was talking about the pistol thing I was doing, that was to get this cool pistol skin. And yeah, so I would check that out if you haven't looked in there yet. You definitely need to poke around all those menus because there's a lot of cool stuff in there that a game doesn't really just like tell you to go check out, right?
Another thing I find pretty cool, and I actually don't know what your guys' opinion of this will be. I didn't realize this at first, but I read it through the Modern Warfare subreddit. That for the matchmaking now, you do not stay in a lobby. Every single game, it searches for a new match, and you get put into a new lobby. So there's no longer like, obviously you stay with your party if you're in a party, but
Right.
there's no longer like being in a quote unquote shitty lobby for like multiple games with uneven teams, because every time you come out of the game, it instantly just searches for a new lobby. And I didn't notice that at first, but now that after I've read that, that actually makes a lot of sense. And I've been realizing that, I don't know if it's because now it's crossplay, so there's just more players and it's easier to do, but that has been something that's been kind of like, oh, it does make sure that every game is like completely random and different, so you're not stuck having to leave lobbies because someone's an asshole.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just did the generic thing where you back out every time, but or like I'm gonna pub stomp these kids again. I always say that shit. But hell yeah, that's dope. That's our review of Call of Duty, right? Any final comments?
It's good.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, play that shit. Add me on it. I'll tweet out my fucking Activision name, and you can add me, and we can play, and I can show you my cool skins.
You can show you what's up. We can all show you what's up.
I mean,
well, let's just do it right now. Mine is Josh the Lion 18.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers, but I'm Emo Uncle Tito, and then the numbers I will put on my tweet.
And I'm that pigeon, and I don't know if I have numbers or not.
If you didn't. If you made your account automatically, right, and you didn't change it, you shouldn't have any numbers. But okay. I made my account automatically and then changed my name, so now I have the numbers at the end.
Oh, yeah. I there's like a setting where you can turn off the numbers. So like when I play with Isaiah, it just says Emo Uncle Tito.
Yep. My display name is Emo Uncle Tito, but to look me up, you need the numbers. So.
Oh, I didn't know
Interesting.
that. Okay.
I'll tweet it out, so look for me on Twitter, and I'll put my Twitter at the end of this, so you're forced to listen to our main topic after this break, right? We're taking a break?
Yes.
Yeah.
We know the joy of giving is its own reward. But who says you can't get something for yourself, too? Now when you buy Vanilla MasterCard gift cards, you can enter to win one of over 10 prizes every week for 10 weeks, including a grand prize of $10,000 in Vanilla gift cards. So, get gifting and start sharing the delight for more chances to win. Go to get-gifting.com to learn more and enter for your chance to win. Cards are issued by the Bancorp Bank and MetaBank, members FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated, and may be used in the U.S. everywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. Terms and conditions apply. Cards distributed and serviced by Income Financial Services, Inc., which is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, and MLS ID number 912772.
All right, welcome back. So, if you guys remember, you guys listening out there, last year for our Halloween episode, we did a tournament of the 16 best horror movies of all time, dwindled it down to, of course, Grave Encounters winning. But a lot of preparation went into that. We did a whole episode before that just announcing the movies. This year, I wanted to do a tournament, but I didn't want it to be necessarily as big of a deal, just something we could kind of do more casually, something that wouldn't be as hard as picking the best horror movie ever. So I decided on this week doing the best animated cartoon show from our childhood. And from our childhood, I mean starting from the year 2000. I specifically picked the year 2000 as a cutoff date of when the show needed to start because SpongeBob was made in 1999, and I think we all know that SpongeBob would probably win. So it had to have started in the year 2000, somewhere between 2000 and 2010, to qualify for this tournament. And the seeding in the tournament was done completely by the IMDb score. So the seeding isn't that important. Just because something has a super high seed, none of us might not like it that much. It's just based off the IMDb score. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump into it. We're just going to announce the matchups, go around, talk about it, do a quick vote, and then go from there. We can kind of do this kind of quickly. We'll see how it goes. But starting up first, we have the number 1 seed, Avatar: The Last Airbender, going up against the number 16 seed, The Proud Family.
Oh God!
Ooh.
What a blowout, in my opinion.
Yeah, Proud Family has this by a mile.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Avatar was just incredible show. The following for it is like the most amazing people I know always are talking about how Avatar is so good. And a little insight on how terrible of a person I am. I have not watched the whole show or Legends of Korra. So, oof.
I have not watched any of the Legend of Korra, but Avatar: Last Airbender, amazing series.
Yeah, I'll get in there eventually.
Yeah, I definitely haven't watched Legend of Korra. I don't know what that is, but I do see the Avatar box set. I think at like Best Buy and Target and stuff, and it's only like $30 for the whole thing on Blu-ray. So, even though I didn't watch Avatar a ton as a kid, like I definitely watched it, but like not enough to know like the storylines or the canon or anything like that. But I knew the show and I liked it. So I have been interested to buy the box set because I don't think it's available anywhere when it comes to streaming.
I have not looked into that. I was going to look into it because I want to watch it, but I just made that epiphany right now. So,
but let's talk about, since it's the only round that it's going to be in, let's talk about the Proud Family. So,
that show is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they have a character named Sticky Web, so that's just amazing.
Wasn't there like a really short? There was like a really small character who was like,
yeah, it was Sticky Web.
That was Sticky Web. Okay, yeah, that got
Maybe.
fucking hilarious.
They were all pretty short.
Right.
I'm having such a hard time remembering a lot of the Proud Family.
The dad made the snacks that like everybody hated, but it's somehow like how they made their living.
Snacks? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the sugar mama who like put her foot in it and like made it taste really good until everyone realized she was actually putting her foot in it.
Sugar Mama.
There was a solid crossover.
I should have named Nova Sugar Mama.
You should have. There was a solid crossover with, and I can't remember the series, but it was, I almost want to say it was Lilo and Stitch, but I think I'm wrong.
I don't recall that happening.
There was definitely a crossover with something. There was also a movie, which I think is going to be available on Disney Plus.
Okay.
But yeah, let's speed. We're going with Avatar, I assume.
Yeah. Okay, I'm voting Avatar.
It's Avatar.
Okay. All right. Proud Family had its moment. So, up next, the number 2 seed is Samurai Jack, going up against the number 15 seed Chalk Zone.
God, why does Chalk Zone have to be 15 against Samurai Jack?
Chalk Zone is probably one of the best intros of a cartoon.
Yeah, dude. Rudy's got the chalk. Rudy's got the chalk zone.
And that's all I remember about the show.
Oh yeah, but dude, we could argue intros here because the Samurai Jack intro, dude, that shit was low key. That was like low key hype as fuck. You're like,
Samurai Jack was the first cartoon I realized could be like dark, and still great, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the rating on this one too. No Cinderella story for me, bro. I'm gonna go Samurai Jack versus Chalk Zone and Samurai Jack.
Yeah, Samurai Jack's intro was like the best like intro because it like explained what the show was about. So even if you had no idea, you could watch any episode of Samurai Jack and after the intro, be like, "Oh, okay, I'm on board."
Right. You're like, I'm in. I've got a small investment in this.
Zach, any last words you want to say for Chalk Zone?
I just wish it wasn't 15. I feel like there's like 3 shows on this that I think I would put above Chalk Zone in my personal opinion. Samurai Jack's one of them in the 16 list.
You're saying there are 3 shows on this list that are better than Chalk Zone.
I loved Chalk Zone. Chalk Zone was amazing. I would wake up so early to watch the 2 episodes of Chalk Zone before school that were on at like 5.
I can name 7 shows in this side of the bracket that are better than Chalk Zone.
You just really haven't embraced Chalk Zone then.
All right, so Samurai Jack, we'll move on there. So next up, this one's going to be an interesting one. The number 3 seed Invader Zim versus the number 14 seed Jimmy Neutron.
This is interesting because I think that personally, the emo kid in me should be arguing for Invader Zim, but I honestly think that Jimmy Neutron was better than Invader Zim.
I loved Jimmy Neutron.
I loved the movie Jimmy Neutron more than I actually loved the show itself.
But Invader, dude, Gurr from Invader Zim, that was just a fucking key character. But then I think about the characters in Jimmy Neutron. Well, we got Sheen, Carl, we got fucking Jimmy Neutron's parents. It's fucking.
Oh yes.
I think that this one's gonna be one that like the rating just. I think there's just too many emo kids on the internet. I think that Jimmy Neutron deserves more hype. I'm gonna vote Jimmy Neutron on this battle.
I do have to give Invader Zim though. Invader Zim has that dark adult humor that I feel like if we went back and watched it, we'll be like, oh, it did that, or like, oh, it said that. Like,
yeah, but I don't think
we
that
talked before in the past where a lot of these cartoons have to slip in these little humors that the adults get that the kids just like it goes over the kid's head, and Invader Sim was full of.
Yeah, but I don't think that is enough for it to stand on its own legs going forward into the tournament. Like that dark humor-esque thing that you're talking about, I don't think is enough to carry it even past this round, let alone against the next thing in the list.
So are we saying that this is our first upset of the bracket?
Yes, I would say that this is the first upset of the bracket.
I mean, I will be honest, I've never really watched Invader Zim, so and I love Jimmy Neutron, so that's gonna be an easy one for me.
Wow. It's hard to see you go, Zim, but I'll see you later on Hulu or Netflix.
Or the Netflix film that just came out.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we have these are gonna be pretty fun. All right. Up next, we have number 4 seed Phineas and Ferb versus the number 13 seed My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Dude, this one's tough. I think this one's tough.
This one is hard.
I love
Phineas and Ferb.
I love Phineas and Ferb, but My Life as a Teenage Robot, low key, high key slept on.
Yeah, it's a sleeper. It's probably the sleeper pick out of all of these.
Yeah, I would say, but the soundtrack to Phineas and Ferb, so good. All that collab with Bowling for Soup, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
did Phineas and Ferb when did it come out? Or was really only in the 2000s? I don't know why, but
yeah, it was 2007.
Wow, it seems like it's just so much more like current.
That's because it's been coming. It was still on TV till like 2015, I think.
Yeah, and they had movies. They have a new movie coming to Disney Plus. So it's definitely still around. They even had a spin-off show that was in the same universe as Phineas and Ferb that was on Disney XD, if you remember that channel. And I didn't watch that one, but yeah, it had a big impact for sure. It was a pretty hit show. I mean, that was like one of those shows when I was like in 7th grade when it came out. You guys would have been in 8th grade. It was like that time of your life where you were trying to be cooler than watching cartoons, but like Phineas and Ferb was still like you gave it a pass because it was so good.
Yeah, I was watching CSI at that point because I was like, I'm in fucking CSI, bro. But I just, yeah, I had to go with Phineas on this one. I had to go with Phineas and Ferb over My Life as a Teenage Robot. I couldn't even tell you any other characters other than the robot from My Life as a Teenage Robot. But in Phineas and Ferb, you got fucking
Got
Perry.
Candace.
You got Candace. You got Perry the Platypus. You got
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah, we didn't bring up the B story, the Agent P and Dr.
Yeah.
Doofenshmirtz. I mean, iconic.
Yeah, I think that Perry the Platypus did a lot for platypus people all over the place. I wouldn't know what a platypus. I wouldn't know what a platypus is if without Perry the Platypus. So, I'm going Phineas on this one. What about you, Zach? What's your vote?
This one's tough. I shouldn't say I loved, but I really enjoyed my life as a teenage robot. But Phineas and Ferb just checks a lot of the boxes that my life as a teenage robot doesn't. I have to give it to Phineas and Ferb.
All right, there you go.
There you go. Josh's opinion doesn't matter.
Well, I barely watch my life as a teenage robot.
Doesn't
so.
matter. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Okay. So up next, this might be one of the easier ones, unless you guys are going to surprise me. So we have Teen Titans, the number 5 seed, up against Dave the Barbarian. I thought Dave the Barbarian was hilarious, but even I have to go hands down to Teen Titans.
100%. Dave the Barbarian pissed me off as a kid. It annoyed the hell out of me. I remember watching like 2 to 3 shows, and I'm just like, how is this still going? I don't understand.
Teen Titans.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Teen Titans was so good that it literally, and I've probably talked about this on the podcast, it literally inspired an imaginative universe for Josh and I as children with his little brother.
Yes.
We wanted to be in the Teen Titans, bro. There's no way this one gets defeated here.
I still wish I was in the Teen Titans.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm still wondering about Tara, bro. To this day.
I still want to know what happened.
I met a girl in college named Tara, and I was like, well, you made it out of the rock. And she was like, what? And now we're best friends.
Isaiah, I think we got to watch. They just released Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go. I think we gotta rent that or something, or
sit down and watch that. Yeah, I think that it's well deserved. We gotta invite your brother too.
Because if it's the last of what we're going to see of those Teen Titans, we got to watch it.
We got to watch it.
But okay, Teen Titans moves on, obviously. But hey, let's give a shout out to Dave Barbarian. You knew when that show came on, you were supposed to be sleeping.
Dave the Barbarian is, I would say, one of the ones on here that Chalk Zone could have beat.
I'm already upset that since you brought up in the beginning that these rankings are off of IMDb scores, that My Life as a Teenage Robot and Chalk Zone are both considered worse shows on IMDb than Dave the Barbarian. That is already upsetting.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, Dave the Barbarian, man. I don't know. I think you guys are sleeping on it, but oh well. None of us are ever going to watch it again, so. All right. We're gonna move on. Number 6 seed, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and the 11 seed, Danny Phantom.
Dude, Danny Phantom.
This was extremely hard.
Yeah, bro. Because the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. This is why I was saying that the legs of Invader Zim's dark humor would have died here if Billy and Mandy moved forward, because Billy and Mandy just did it better. But Danny Phantom, dude. Danny Phantom was like the first, it was almost teen drama to me, right? I was like, oh my God, he turned into a ghost, bro. And it has that classic art style of the Fairly Odd Parents kind of looking thing. And, I don't know, boys. I don't want to make the first decision. I don't want to sway you guys. I want to hear what you got to say.
All right.
Sway me.
Well, for me, it's gonna be easy. Billy and Mandy, absolutely. I have so many memories of that show. Danny Phantom, I didn't ever get super into. I liked it, but just wasn't my show, I guess. Billy and Mandy, absolutely. I mean, so many episodes come to mind. The Brains episode with the alien. There's the episode with the giant spider that thinks Billy's his dad. I mean, there's just so many great ones just off the top of
my
head.
God, that one is so good. You're right. It's so funny. I think that the problem I'm having with Danny Phantom is that there was an emo girl as one of the main characters. So that might have been the spark in my emo fascination, right? So, what about you, Zach? What are you going to vote? So that I don't know if I don't have to make the decision.
This one is close. I'm giving it to Billy and Mandy as well.
Okay, thank God. I don't have to decide.
But I'm going to have to give a shout out to Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom was such a good show. I remember watching the first episode after the Kids' Choice Awards came out. Like, that's when it premiered. And I was just like, man, I hope this continues. Because back then, it was a lot of shows were like one and dones on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
all right, so
I fucking
Billy
love
and Mandy.
Danny Phantom. God dang.
Yeah, it had a tough matchup. I think it could have gone farther against some of the other shows, but sometimes it's how the cookie crumbles. So Billy and Mandy moves on. Let's go here, finish up the first round. We got a couple more. Up first, number 7 seed, Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends, and the number 10 seed, Kim Possible. For me, this is actually one of the more difficult ones of the round because I really enjoyed both of these shows. What about you guys?
Yeah, this one's tough. I'm glad that I haven't seen the Kim Possible live action thing I saw floating around for it to ruin my perfect memory of Kim Possible. But Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Sometimes when I even see pictures of Foster's Home, I'm like, damn, dude, that tall guy right there, that's Zach in my life, bro.
Yeah, the one arm and everything.
I was like, there's no way I'm blue. I'm an asshole. I might be Coco, though. I could be Coco. But they had so many iconic characters. And then in Kim Possible, there's fucking the naked mole rat, and then the fucking Ron, and then fucking, this one's tough. But I want to decide. I didn't decide the last one. I want to put my vote in. I'm going Foster's on this one. I think Foster's. Yeah, I'm going Foster's.
I like the pick.
All right. Josh, what do you pick?
Okay, it sounds like my vote's not going to matter. So I'm going to go for Kim Possible with the slight edge, only because when Wade finally showed up in person, it was one of the most iconic moments of my childhood.
Damn. You're right.
But
Wade was the shit, bro. Damn. Okay. Yeah, I'm still Foster's.
Also the Nako, like who doesn't want to eat a Nako right now?
Oh, I'd fuck up a Nako right now, bro.
But here's the real question. Who doesn't want to have one of Coco's eggs right now and get whatever crazy thing comes out of it?
Yeah, you're right. And dude, what was the chick's name? Vicky? Was it Vicky? The babysitter chick?
Yeah, I think that was her name.
Because I know that there was Icky Vicky in Fairy Odd Parents, but I didn't know if it was the same.
Yeah.
God, I'm drawing a
looks like it's Frankie.
Frankie.
Damn it.
Frankie was Bay Life, dude. Mm.
Yeah. I'm giving it to Foster.
Good call. I'm glad that guy got through, but I don't know. Looking at his matchup in the next one, we'll see.
All right, and then the last one of the first round, number 8 seed. Oh, this is gonna be extremely tough for me. Number 8 seed, Fairly Odd Parents. The number 9 seed, codename Kids Next Door.
This one is a killer, bro. I'm dancing in my chair thinking about it because it's like, you got Cosmo, you got Wanda, you got Timmy Turner, you got Chip Skylark, you got Doug Dimmy Dome. Like, you got all these people in Fairly Odd Parents, but the Kids Next Door, bro, they was on that cool shit. They was on that cool shit, bro. They were doing cool shit in their treehouse. I was like, oh, motherfuckers, what's up? I don't know, dude. This is hype. I don't want to decide this one again. I'm out.
I'll go first. It's Kids Next Door.
Wow.
Fairly Odd Parents is great and all, but nothing beats Kids Next Door. I was so upset once it finally actually ended the series.
Yeah. What were the evil kids in Kids Next Door's name again?
They were I think it was like the polite kids or something like that. Or
they all drink milk or something.
Yeah.
Fuck
those guys.
Like the rich kids down the block or something.
Yeah, fuck those guys, bro, for sure. But go ahead, Josh.
So I was just gonna say I really loved both shows, but when I think back to what I remember more, I would probably give it to Fairly Odd Parents, and Zach kind of made my decision easier because I want to force Isaiah to make the decision.
Good. I like the power. I feel it in my bones. It's almost like I would wish. Oh, yeah. I'm going with Fairly Odd Parents.
Wow,
That's a shocker.
I just like as soon as we started talking about Fairly Odd Parents, all I could think was my shiny teeth, shiny teeth.
Just so great, yeah. And then we didn't even bring up like the Crimson Chin,
right.
Crash Nebula. I mean, just so many great characters in that, and then so many great episodes too. But Kids Next Door, that's a tough one. That's a tough matchup.
Yeah, That's why I'm saying. Whenever Zach was talking about Chalk Zone, I was like, "There's no way Chalk Zone beats either of the ones in this matchup." So I already have 4 in front of it.
So, all right, that's the first round, and guys, it only gets tougher from here.
Yeah,
so,
it's going to get fucking hard as fuck.
So let's keep it rolling with Fairly Odd Parents going up against the number 1 seed Avatar and the Last Airbender. I'll start it off just because, for me, this is where just my knowledge and my enjoyment of Fairly Odd Parents outweighs The Last Airbender because I just didn't watch it enough to be a huge fan. So I would still go with Fairly Odd Parents.
All right, Zach.
No, you're wrong. It's the Avatar. If you have
What an execution that was, dude. You just walked up to that man and said, sit down. I'm going to tell you about Avatar.
Avatar is just so good. The story is so great. The animation is so amazing. Not only does it see with the Fairly Odd Parents and a lot of these other shows, I feel like a lot of these shows are still extremely well, but the thing that I feel like separates Avatar from a lot of these other shows that we're talking about is the characters that it builds. A lot of these shows just focus on the main character and that's it, and build everything around it with everyone else being a supporting cast. But with Avatar, you're not only building up Aang, you're building up all of the other supporting cast, learning their story, and it's only making the story that much more diverse and better at the end of the day.
Yeah, dude. But you know what it can't deal with? It can't deal with that momentum that Fairly Odd Parents comes out after defeating the 9th seed that was Kids Next Door. Fairly Odd Parents walks up to Avatar, and Avatar says, sit down, shut up. I am the greatest show that has happened in this generation, and takes the cake on this one. I'm voting Avatar. Sorry, Fairly Odd Parents. Your shiny teeth and you can go sit on the bench. You're done for tonight.
All right, so Avatar will move on to the next round. Up next, number 2 seed Samurai Jack up against the number 7 seed Foster's Home for Imaginary Kids.
I'm going to have to go out here on a limb and say, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends beat Samurai Jack for me. I don't think that I liked Samurai Jack. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was cool and all that kind of stuff. But I think Foster's Home brought me more enjoyment watching the show than Samurai Jack ever did.
This one's tough. I don't want to go second. Josh, this one's
So
you.
I'll go second. It's going to be easy for me as well, but I'm going the other way, Samurai Jack. I mean, obviously 2 completely different shows, but so it's really hard to compare. But Foster's, for me, I don't know. Man, this is tough to even explain my choice because it's a difficult one. But I don't know. I just feel like Samurai Jack, I could see myself watching Samurai Jack all the way through today, and I don't know if I could see myself going back and revisiting Foster's, on that same level.
God, I didn't want to be in this position. That's why I wanted to go last.
You're in the position.
Just if I ever go second, I'm most likely, if it's close, gonna go the other way.
God,
I love to hear Zach struggle with his decision.
I think. I'm trying to think of a good way to base this off of. I know for a fact I've put so many more hours into watching Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and I feel like the replay value of, I feel like I'm talking about this like a video game, but at least I can sit there and watch reruns of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends to this day still, I feel like, which I can do the same for Samurai Jack, but Samurai Jack tells an entire story where I feel like Foster's Home is just full of random episodes at times.
I think it's just the way you watch it, dude. Because what about, you got to think about that character development for Blue. He was such an asshole when he first got in the house, and then he gets out at the end. He's like a kind of good guy. Like,
I mean, there's reoccurring events or it brings back from the past. God, I got to give it to Samurai Jack. It's just going back to, I feel like what makes Avatar so great, it's just the overall story from beginning to end.
Wow.
It really amplifies the entire time as well.
damn, dude.
I totally thought he was going the other way.
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought
even
it was
shocked.
too.
he went Jack.
Give it to Samurai
right.
Jack.
All right, so
As
up next
Coco's away.
we have the
Coco.
number 4 seed Phineas and Ferb, number 5 seed Teen Titans. Again, for me, isn't really going to be much of a contest. For everything I said about Phineas and Ferb, still holds true, but Teen Titans clear head and shoulders above, better for me.
It's Teen Titans.
It's Teen Titans. Teen Titans is the only one that might be able to beat Avatar, bro. We gotta send it on to the next round.
But I do gotta say though, there's 104 days of summer vacation, and school comes along. Okay, so Teen Titans moves on.
I always hated that part because I was like, I only got 90 days of summer vacation.
Yeah, where the fuck do you live?
You got 2 more weeks than me.
Yeah.
So then, last one of the second round here, number 14 seed Jimmy Neutron going up against the number 6 seed Billy and Mandy.
I'm giving this one to Jimmy still, bro. I think Jimmy pulls it out against Billy and Mandy. That show is fucking great.
I'm gonna make you decide, Josh. I'm going with Billy and Mandy.
Both are so great. When I think of meme ability, you got to go Jimmy Neutron, obviously. I mean, I just rewatched the episode the other day because Jimmy Neutron's actually on Hulu. I just rewatched the other day where he works at the fast food place and he's like, just some sodium chloride. And he's like, dude, that's salt. He's like, that's what I said, sodium chloride. It's just so great.
Nerdy jokes are the best.
Yeah, but I really do think Billy and Mandy is the better show. So I'm actually going to have to go Billy and Mandy.
Yes.
I keep wondering, when did Courage the Cowardly Dog come out? Because did that just get neglected from the list?
My God. If that was
I think it came out in like the 1800s.
Yeah, I think so too, actually.
It's just like an urban myth that's been around forever.
The Courage the Cowardly Dog episode where it had the ultra realistic ghost with the tablet that was stolen from him.
He's like, return the tablet.
Yeah.
Literally scared the pants off of me as a child.
Every episode scared me.
Yeah. The art style was terrifying. But yeah,
it started in 1996.
Oh, that's why. I was fucking wee boy when it started coming out. That's why it scared the shit out of me.
I don't believe 1996. Really?
Yeah, it says it went from 1996 to 2002.
Wow.
Straight from the Google machine.
I heard something that they were trying to bring that show back.
Maybe. That's a good one.
All right, guys. We're in the semifinals. It's going to be pretty crazy. I'm going to switch it up here. I'm going to go number 2 seed Samurai Jack,
good
number
call,
6
good
seed
call, good
Billy
call.
and Mandy. Where do you guys fall on that one?
I'm trying to look at these and think about how good they are versus the other side of the bracket. And I'm like, who could possibly even contend with the other side of the bracket? So I almost already feel like I'm picking what is third place for me because the top side of the bracket is so heavy for me. But I have to go Billy and Mandy, dude. I have to go Billy and Mandy. Fuck Samurai Jack. That fuck. Fuck. I don't know. It's so hard.
Zach, what do you think?
I think I have to go Samurai Jack because I was just thinking of shows. I was trying to think of episodes of Billy and Mandy, and I thought of 2 different TV shows while I was thinking about it. So
There you go.
I'm going to have to... it's a tough one for me, too, obviously. I've obviously put over both shows really hard. I think I'm more so leaning towards what Isaiah is saying, though. In fairness to making the finals really interesting, I want the 2 shows in the finals to be completely different. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Plus, as much as I liked Samurai Jack, and we'll talk more about this in the finals, regardless of what other show gets in, because they both fit this mold, but serious adult or teenager type cartoons can be amazing, can be great, but one of the best things about cartoons are the ones that make you laugh really hard. And every single time I watch Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, it made me laugh really hard. Right. So
I don't know why. When I was thinking of Billy and Mandy, the 2 TV shows that it made me think of over Billy and Mandy were My Gym Partner is a Monkey, which also is on this, which should be an honorable mention, and Camp Lazlo, which should also be
Camp Lazlo. Fucking, how do you get Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy mixed up with anything other than a show that has the Grim Reaper in it?
I literally, my mindset, I was like, all right, I'm going to start thinking of episodes. I was like, oh, that was a really cool episode when they did that. Oh, wait, that was My Gym Partner's a Monkey. Oh, well, they did that. And I was like, that's Camp Lazlo.
I thought you were talking about the mini show they had in it with the bear who had like the brain, and they would show like little episodes with Billy and Mandy. I thought that's what you were referencing.
Oh, no. I forgot about that, so that's also...
All right, so Billy and Mandy going on to the finals. Here's the other semifinal matchup. Ooh, I mean, I know where I stand, obviously. But
I know where I stand on this one, too.
So, Avatar and Teen Titans. Zach, what do you think?
Personally, I have to give it to Teen Titans.
Oh, I didn't see it coming.
I thought he was going to be our Avatar vote because I'm Teen Titans too.
Yeah, me as well. That's a clean sweep. Oh, man. I mean, obviously for me, I've already said I didn't watch Avatar that much, but look, I want to hear from you guys,
Dude, okay, don't get me wrong.
matchup?
Don't get me wrong. Avatar, beautiful show, great, perfect, sweet, cool. The Teen Titans, though, dog. First of all, you got Robin. What a fucking boss ass motherfucker. Second of all, you got Cyborg, dude. Cyborg, Beast Boy.
Right, I think Isaiah's just gonna name the main cast.
Fucking Beast Boy, dog. Raven, bro. Raven. Oh man.
Starfire.
Oh, Starfire, bro. Okay, you got me too hyped trying to go into the finals and give this a fair shake.
All right, so we have the finals here. Best animated show of the 2000s: Teen Titans, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. What do you guys think?
It's Teen Titans. I'm sorry. I'll start it off.
Slade, bro.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's much competition here. I love Billy and Mandy, but man, Teen Titans, what an amazing show.
Oh man, dude, I'm just thinking about the theme song in both English and Japanese at the same fucking time. That's how elevated I am on the Teen Titans high. I'm so high on Teen Titans right now. I think Teen Titans could take down the Goliath that is SpongeBob.
I don't know about that one. That'd be interesting.
Teen fucking Titans, dude. I want to live in the Titans Tower.
I reference some episode of SpongeBob basically every day of my life, but Teen Titans, man. I mean, talk about Zach. You mentioned earlier, Danny Phantom is like your. Or was that you or Isaiah? I can't remember. Was that you? Well, it was like your first like teen drama.
Yeah, that was me.
That's Teen Titans for me.
Oh, so good.
Like I was like, damn, these shows can be this good.
Yeah, I used to, because Teen Titans used to be on Toonami at like 7:30 on Saturdays. I remember specifically clearing up that time on Saturday to like make it a point to go watch Teen Titans.
Teente. Oh my god, I'm gonna go listen to the theme song, bro. You guys got the rest of this podcast?
Well, I think that's it. Teen Titans is one.
Yeah.
It is the best animated show of the 2000s. You guys let us know what you think. Are we crazy? Do you like Billy and Mandy, Avatar, Samurai Jack, or any of the other shows we named more? Or maybe one we didn't even have on the list, like the one Zach named, for example. What were your guys' favorite animated shows of the 2000s? We came up with Teen Titans. And that's going to be it for this episode. So we want to thank American Spirits for letting us use their song ADHD.
Ooh, let me go
Isaiah,
next.
who do you
Let me
want
go
to
next. I want to thank the listeners for listening to this podcast. Without you, we wouldn't be here making this podcast for the world. Zach, who do you want to thank?
The listeners?
I already thanked them. You got to choose again.
You want to thank Surgerberger, right?
Yes.
He doesn't know, bro. We do this podcast every week. He doesn't know, dog.
Get in the role. But we do want to thank Surgerberger for the great little short animation sound clips that he puts, especially for the See It Play and Skip It episode.
He doesn't do animation. He does sound. But yeah, I'm into it.
I cannot speak right now. You know what I mean.
Just right now?
Roasted.
It's been a struggle since I've been little, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, so where can we find you on the internet, Zach? Could you figure that out?
Yeah, I can tell you. You can find me at Zach the Pigeon on Twitter, and if you want to find me at that pigeon.
Damn, you lag, so people aren't going to be able to find you.
Damn. Find me at that the pigeon for Call of Duty and Zach the Pigeon on Twitter.
All right, Josh, where can we find you?
Oh, God, you can find me at Josh Hooligan R on Twitter and Instagram, Joshua Hooligan on YouTube, and Josh Martin 7 on Letterboxd. How about you, Isaiah?
You can find me everywhere on the internet as Emo Uncle Tito, except for on Discord. Call of Duty. You can also find me at Emo Uncle Tito. And Zach, are you ready? Here comes fastball. Go.
Bye.
ADHD, now driving me crazy. I don't wanna take this, you're gonna have to make me. ADHD, I don't wanna take this, I feel out of place lately. So life and take me.
It's season, which means it's too many people in the house season.
Can I sit on this? Nope.
Casserole burning in the oven season.
Anyone smell that?
My yams! And Aunt Meg giving advice season.
You should enter eligible New York Lottery draw game tickets with Collect and Win. You could win a $5,000 gift card to use at the Home Depot to make hosting a little easier.
Wow, Aunt Meg, that's actually great advice.
The Home Depot is not a sponsor of this promotion. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. You must be 21 or older to purchase a quick draw ticket where alcoholic beverages are served. Please play responsibly. Entered by 1/7/20.
We know the joy of giving is its own reward. But who says you can't get something for yourself, too? Now when you buy vanilla MasterCard gift cards, you can enter to win one of over 10 prizes every week for 10 weeks, including a grand prize of $10,000 in vanilla gift cards. So get gifting and start sharing the delight for more chances to win. Go to get-gifting.com to learn more and enter for your chance to win. Cards are issued by the Bancorp Bank and MetaBank, members FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated, and may be used in the U.S. everywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. Terms and conditions apply. Cards distributed and serviced by Income Financial Services, Inc., which is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, and MLS ID number 912772.